What's up, people of YouTube? Welcome to episode 139 of the Idiotic Sports Talk. I'm your host, Liam Gavin, coming to you live from my dining room table. And today I want to give you all my Week 9 picks around the NFL. Like I do every Thursday, I'm giving you my picks for the week. And last week I went 10-5, which was a good record, and I'm hoping to have that same success this week. Let's get started with the Thursday night game. The Eagles taking on the Texans. We have Jalen Hurts returning to his hometown of Houston. And I honestly think that he's going to go off. They're facing a Texans team that's just awful. They really have no identity at all on both sides of the ball. And I could see the Eagles winning by 21. My brain is telling me Eagles are going to win. My heart's telling me the Texans. And because I'm a biased Cowboys fan who can't stand the Eagles, I'm going to go with my heart here. Texans 28-27. It probably won't happen, but let's have some faith here. Next is the Sunday games. The Colts taking on the Patriots. So the Colts, they don't have Matt Ryan playing. They have Sam Ehlinger, who looked all right at times against the Commanders. But other than that, he has a lot to work on. And he's taking on a Patriots team that they're kind of hit or miss. But, you know, Bill Belichick, he's at home. And he just makes young quarterbacks' lives miserable. And I see him doing that. I see that defense teeing off on the young quarterback. So give me the Patriots in this situation, 31-15. Next is the Packers taking on the Lions. So the Packers have been an absolute disappointment. The Lions have not been good either, although they compete in pretty much every game. However, I do see the Packers winning this one. I think this is what can get them on track, is a win here, bouncing back against a divisional rival. So I do expect it to be close, though. I'm going to take the Packers 28-25. Next, we have the Chargers taking on the Falcons. So the Chargers and Falcons are kind of like the same team when you think about it. Both teams, you know, they're hit or miss. It's like they either win, they lose. You never know what's going to happen with this team. The Chargers are coming off the bye. You know, they look good at times, and then they've lost games that they should have won. And same with the Falcons. They could be a lot better than what their record says they are. I am going to pick the Chargers here to win a close one. I mean, I would not be surprised if the Falcons won, but I'm going to roll with the Chargers in this game. I'm going to take them 31-28. Next is the Bills taking on the Jets. So the Bills have just been smacking teams around all season long. They've been on fire. And the Jets, they were on fire too. And then they got a couple injuries to their offense, some key offensive pieces. And Zach Wilson he tries doing too much when he's not that type of quarterback. And, if he does that against this Bills team, which I think he will, the Jets will be in for a long day. You know, I see these two teams splitting, but however, I think Buffalo is going to get the win here. I'm going to pick Buffalo 34-24. Next is the Vikings taking on the Commanders. So we have Kirk Cousins in the 6-1 Vikings taking on his old team, the Washington Commanders, who won 3 straight games with Taylor Heineke. They've looked a lot better with Taylor Heineke instead of Carson Wentz at quarterback. They could definitely win this game. Of course, I'm not going to pick them since I'm a Dallas fan. But I just see the Vikings offense being able to kind of push around that Washington defense. Washington defense is solid, but I don't know. I just don't see anyone being able to cover Justin Jefferson. They could stop the run with Dalvin Cook, but even if you have Justin Jefferson blanketed, they're going to have a guy like Adam Thielen who's just going to pick up the dirty work. And now that they signed or traded for the Lions tight end, TJ Hawkinson, that makes them even more deadlier. So I like the Vikings in this spot, 30-20. Next is the Panthers taking on the Bengals. So the Panthers have actually looked good since trading a lot of their key offensive pieces away and firing their head coach. And the Bengals, they got absolutely embarrassed against the Browns on Monday night. However, I do see the Bengals bouncing back. I see Joe Burrow having a big game against this Panthers team. But I do see the Panthers keeping this pretty close for the most part. So I do like the Bengals 31-23. Next is the Raiders taking on the Jaguars. Now, this is a very hard game to pick from. Both teams have been super, super disappointing. It's pretty much a toilet bowl game. The Raiders have such a good offense, but their defense is bad. And with their offense is bad, it's usually because they can't get the run game going or Derek Carr just doesn't look sharp. And the Jaguars, they started off pretty good, and now they've lost 5 straight games, I believe, 4 or 5 straight games. And I think this is a game where they bounce back and win. I wouldn't hold my breath on it, though. This is a real sketchy game to really pick from, but I like the Jags in this situation, 26-24. The next game on the slate, we have the Dolphins facing the Bears. So the Dolphins, since getting Tua back, have looked very good. Their offense looks insane, especially now that they traded for Jeff Wilson Jr. in the backfield, the guy from the Niners, who's been having a solid season, who was having a solid season on the Niners. And I just really don't see the Bears doing anything against this team. I mean, Justin Fields has looked better lately. He had a pretty good game against my Cowboys, but I just don't see, I don't see them being able to stop the Dolphins offense, and I just don't really see the Bears doing that great against the Dolphins defense. I could be wrong. I mean, they've rushed for over 200 yards a game pretty much every game this season, so they could make some noise on the offense, but it's only a matter of time before the Dolphins really get going in this game. So give me the Dolphins in this spot. I'm going to go 28-16. Next is the Seahawks taking on the Cardinals. The Seahawks have won 3 straight. They're looking hot. Geno Smith, they wrote him off, but he never wrote back. And I think they're going to continue that hot streak. Usually against the Cardinals and Seahawks, they split 1-1 every year. But the Cardinals, they're not a good home team. They've won, I think, 1 game in the last year and a half at home. Just don't look that good all around. They do have DeAndre Hopkins back, which helps, but their defense is a question mark. Kyler Murray hasn't been playing that great. I just like the Seahawks here. They're just a hotter team right now, and they're really tough to stop. Geno Smith's been playing great, and they're just been a surprise team. So I'm going to take the Seahawks in this situation, 24-17. Next is the Rams taking on the Bucs. So 2 teams that looked like they could come out of the NFC East and make it to the Super Bowl. Both teams, the Rams won a Super Bowl last year. The Buccaneers won one in the 2020 to 2021 season, and they've just looked complete shambles. Both teams, they've just been disappointments. I mean, the Rams offense can't really do anything unless if Cooper Kupp gets the ball, and even if he goes off for 10 catches, $130 and 2 scores, they still lose the game. They got to get other people involved. They got to get their running game going. That's the biggest thing. They haven't been able to run the ball at all this season. And as for the Bucs, I mean, you have Tom Brady going through it with a divorce. His head's obviously not in the right place, but his team's just not showing up either. A lot of drops from his receivers, his defense, a lot of injuries, and his offensive line has been banged up, as you guys know. So it's pretty tough to pick from this game. However, I'm going to go with the Rams here. It seems like they usually can beat the Bucs, so I like the Rams 27-24. Next is the Titans taking on the Chiefs. So I don't know if Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis is starting this game for the Titans, but however, I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Chiefs are going to beat them. But the Titans' key to victory is with Derrick Henry. If he could pound the ball through that Chiefs defense, they have a really good shot. And if the quarterback, whether it's Tannehill or Malik Willis, doesn't turn the ball over with Henry running well, then the Titans could definitely win. But I just don't see the Chiefs really losing. The Chiefs and Titans have had a pretty good rivalry over these last couple of years, low-key. But I do like the Chiefs. They just have a better team all around. I'm never really going to pick against Patrick Mahomes, and I see the Chiefs getting the job done here, 32-24. As for the Monday night game, we have the Ravens taking on the Saints. So the Ravens, they're starting to seem like they're getting back in a groove. They've won a couple games now. They're feeling themselves. And the Saints, they got a big win the other week. But the Saints are a weird team. They're a team who could beat almost anybody, but they could lose to anybody too. They are at home. They're playing better now that Alvin Kamara is healthy. But their defense has just been really bad. And I don't see anyone on that defense really being able to stop Lamar Jackson and his running and passing ability. And I just don't see them shutting down the Ravens' run game. So I do like the Ravens in this spot, 29-21. And those are my Week 9 picks around the NFL. I hope you all enjoyed. The teams on their bye week are my Cowboys. The Giants are on their bye week. The Browns, Steelers, Broncos, and Niners. So 6 teams on their bye weeks. And let me give you guys my locks and upsets of the week. My number 1 lock, I got the Dolphins over the Bears. And my upset is the Rams over the Bucs, which doesn't really sound like an upset, but I checked the sports books before, and they have the Rams as a decent underdog. So I'm going to take the Rams here as my upset. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in to my Week 9 NFL picks. Remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on my Instagram. Do what you can to like, share, and promote my page. Thank you all, and enjoy some Week 9 football.